Hello and welcome to the StoneX Stadium, home of Saracens and home to Haileybury's annual fixture. This year they take on Stamford, and what a Stamford side it is as well. And alongside me to talk us through this one is George Moody, unfortunately injured from Haileybury. And George, excited about this one?
Yeah, very excited. I think the boys are very excited as well.
They certainly are. You were out on the field last year, and there's a few lucky boys that are going to have the chance this year as Haileybury will line up with Dan McKenna and the England under-18 star player Finn Newton. That's your half-backs. In the centres, Charlie Walters and Fraser Rawlins. And in the back three, Zach Crane, Ben Parker, who's a year 11, another one of the Saracens Academy boys, and Nick Davis at full-back. Front row, Tireni Morikinho, Dylan Line and Tom Watkins. Second row, Sam Donner and Ollie Hurd. And in the back row, in this wild and windy day, Lucas Osman, Matt Wright and another Saracens man, Eddie Elliott at number 8. On the bench for Haileybury, Owen Mills, Jensen Dean, Ruben Locke, Joe Cuthbert, George Johnston, Henry Herbert, Hamish Archibald and Tahami Macaulay. Stamford, meanwhile, well, they had a fantastic season last year and they're off to a fantastic start this year, having beaten Stowe in their opening game of the season. They are led by Leicester Tigers. Fly half, but he lines up inside centre for them, James Edgerton, with Lachlan Peck alongside him. His half-backs, Jonty Nichols, the vice-captain, and Ollie Bunce is a fly half. Back three, Freddie Beals, Freddie Haynes, and Jack Haynes at full-back, the Haynes brothers, who played alongside each other since reception, alongside two further brothers in this Stamford lineup, Ed Delaney at loose head and Will Delaney at number 8. And in the rest of the pack, we've got Ted Cohen and Ben Beer in the front row alongside Ed Delaney. Second row, Ollie Hull and Luke McKevitt. And in the back row, either side of Delaney at number 8, we've got Hugh Seary and Dom White. And on the bench, Jack Thorey, Steve Fuchs, Ollie Parkinson, Finn, Clayton Bailey, and Ben Beach. And George, you played in this fixture last year. It was a dramatic one. It's always a dramatic game here at the StoneX when Haileybury play. Memories from that occasion?
Yeah, I mean, great occasion coming out here in my low 6th year to play in front of the school at this great stadium. Unfortunately, didn't get the win, but great experience and hopefully get the win today.
Well, if you'd listened to my commentary last year, you did get the win because I got my scores muddled up. Hopefully that doesn't happen again tonight. It is a special place, and it looks even more special with that new stand up and running. Unfortunately, the rain is coming down, which is putting a bit of a dampener on things. But as a fullback, we were talking about this before the game, that rain is going to make things really tricky out there. The ball really skips off the surface, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not something you want to be out there playing right now with the rain. Ball just be slippy, surface slippy, it'll just keep running off, and hopefully Nick can be safe under the high ball tonight.
Let's hope so. He's got some helping hands out there as well in the form of Ben Parker and Zach Crane, and of course Finn Newton, who spent so much time at fullback with both Saracens and the England under-18s team. And as we reflect on what's to come, we reflect back on the week that's gone as well. 3 changes for Haileybury from the side that beat Rugby in their last game, and that was also live streamed here on NextGen 15. Stamford, meanwhile, 1 change from that side that beat Stowe. As Cohen comes in, Parker, Walters, and Wright coming in for Haileybury. 3 of this Haileybury side, by the way, started in this game last year. Finn Newton, Zach Crane and Ollie Hurd. And 3 of the players in this starting lineup were on the bench last year in Lucas Osman, Dan McKenna and Nick Davis. So plenty of experience in this Haileybury side, plenty of experience in this Stamford side as well. And these two played each other last year for the first time in quite a while. A really, really good game it was. Did you play in that one?
I did. It was one of the games I played last year, one of the few.
30-24 victory. If we get treated to something like that tonight, we're going to be going away with smiles on our faces.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, it was a great game last year. Hopefully, a great game again tonight.
It was actually the first time that these two had met in 5 years. Stamford's last win in this fixture coming way back in November 2016, in part, of course, due to that 5-year hiatus in the fixtures. We can just see in the background Stamford trotting out in their white shirts, and I suppose the good news is on this artificial surface, despite it being such a deluge of rain tonight, those white shirts are going to stay pristine and white. Laundry up at Stamford. It's going to be a happy place at the end of this game. Haileybury, in effect the home side, so closely linked with Saracens, just making the visitors wait a little bit. A couple of mind games going on. And it's going to be exciting. There's some areas of the field that I'm looking forward to seeing, certainly. And that midfield area, Edgerton at 12 for Stamford, with Tigers, Fraser Rawlins of Saracens at 13 for Haileybury, and with, of course, Newton and Nichols, two outstanding talents inside of them. That area of the field is going to be really, really important. And particularly on a night like tonight, you're going to need your gun players to step up.
Yeah, certain players will have a big role to play out there today. Finn Newton being key man in the Haileybury team. Hopefully he has a good game out there.
The other thing to mention, just as Haileybury come out onto the field, looks like they're going to hit a couple of tackle bags, is that, of course, while these two met at under 18 level last year, just as important in the context of this fixture is how they got on at under 16 level and at under 16 level, who of course now make up the lower sixth portion of these two teams. Stamford rather ran away with it last year, winning 45-5. But that was the only defeat of Haileybury's season at under 16 level. So despite that, this lower sixth group comes in full of confidence, as does Stamford's though, because not only did they get that victory, it was part of an unbeaten under 16 season. So both sides with exceptional younger year groups and some really, really talented upper sixth boys in there. And as you mentioned earlier, George, a couple of year 11s knocking around in the Haileybury lineup as well. Looks as though we're getting close to being underway. Technically a 7:15 kickoff tonight, but I think the junior games that were on the field ran on a bit long. So as the clock ticks towards 7:22, we are just about ready for kickoff, and Finn Newton sticks it straight down the middle. Stamford gather it cleanly, and I think we're going to see some big carries tonight and some big action with the boot, as well as we see Stamford thump that one downfield, and already a sign of how greasy the ball is. It's just spilled, but spilled backwards on that kick return. George, tonight a night for the kick chase as much as anything else, because you know the ball is going to be slippy, it's going to be wet. There's a chance that full-backs and back three players are going to take a little longer to get that ball under their spell.
Yeah, I mean, last year Zach scored a great try off a quick kick chase, bouncing ball. Never know where it's going to go. So the kick chase will play a big part in today's game as well.
Davis having a little run. Crane getting across the halfway line.
And back.
Haileybury keen to just see if they can play with that ball, but as it's just spilled forward by Osman, it looks as though that early experiment with moving the ball around may have yielded the wrong result for them, as Stamford get a penalty. And I just wonder if they might look to get some early points on the board. What would you be doing out there? Points early on, or?
It's not a bad shout, but the wind could play a part in the kicker's choice, so going for touch could be the safer option.
Looks as though touch might be the option they go for. I'm kind of hoping the wind picks up so that this rain clears by the time I get out from underneath this stand and back to the car. It's not all about me though. Apparently there's something going on the pitch as well. Wonderful kick from Stamford. Gamely attempted to be retrieved by Davis. But Stamford will have a line out just 8 metres out, and a really good opportunity here to get early points on the board. The line out safely brought down. More forms Stamford rumbling towards the try line. Ted Cohen, who's come into the side today, has got the ball in his mitts and it's surging towards the line. Cohen is across the line. Ted Cohen into the starting lineup and instantly with a score for Stamford. Perfectly executed maul from Stamford, and Cohen only too happy to be the beneficiary at the tail of it. It's a really solid maul, that. Haileybury, I guess, just got to make attempts to get lower and get on that ball as early as possible, as Edgerton strikes the conversion and strikes it superbly. As I mentioned, he does play fly half for Leicester Tigers, lining up as skipper at inside centre today and striking that ball so cleanly. It was his kick into the corner that set up that opportunity, and it's his conversion to the Cohen try that gives Stamford a 7-0 lead with a shade under 4 minutes gone.
It's more if they break away, you're then offside. Just make sure you're in the half 10. Don't creep too far on the kick.
Long kick from Newton. Stamford. Oh, big carry from Stamford. Looked like Ollie Hull making his way up the field there. Ball's lost forward though. So Haileybury will have a scrum. First proper spell of possession perhaps for the home side. Stamford looking so threatening in these opening exchanges. Set piece important tonight. There's going to be a lot of drop balls. How's the Haileybury set piece been looking so far?
We didn't have a great scrum against Felsted, unfortunately, but against Rugby we looked slightly better. We've been working on it all this week, so I hope that work pays off.
Haileybury's season started with a tight defeat to Felsted, but for those of you that joined us as they go scorching into the Stamford half through Davis, cuts back inside within 7 or 8 metres. Osman, oh, it's a good tip on from him. McKenna moves it wider.
Step!
I'll come back to that train of thought on Haileybury's start to their season once this attack has unfolded. Davis with the break off the set piece to set up this field position. Kenner to Newton. Newton just bides his time out to Rawlins. Crane going close but driven into touch. Has that stayed in? No, he's gone into touch. But a promising sign that from Haileybury. Lovely running from Davis. Yeah, beautiful stuff from Davis.
Yeah, Nick, so quick on his feet and always got good feet, so hopefully he can beat some few defenders today as well.
Give me some work to do to get back in the shirt.
Don't lift the leg.
It's a solid no comment there.
Out now, 5.
From George alongside me. Stamford with another decent maul off the line out, and they get the box kick up towards Crane, who is being given some physical treatment on that left wing. We know his quality to come through it. Stamford chasing down so well there. And to finish that train of thought that started
White.
all of 3 or 4 minutes ago now.
Numbers, White. Let them reset.
Haileybury started their season with a narrow defeat to Felsted, but
just hold, let them reset.
Turned the momentum around. For those of you that joined us, you will have seen it. They they took on Rugby School last week, coming back from a first half deficit to take a fantastic 27-26 victory. Their first against Rugby School in 15 years. So they're going to be absolutely bouncing. What were the celebrations like after that one?
Yeah, the boys were over the moon. Just that comeback in the second half just had belief the whole time, and the celebrations in the change room of the bus journey home was good fun.
One to be jealous of, that was for sure. McKenna tries to go off the tail, and then Osman, who was so good in that game up on the close, just takes the ball into contact there. Spilled again though as the ball is moved wider, but spilled by Stamford in return. We'll have a Stamford scrum. We're going to see a few of these tonight. Our cameramen are doing such a good job that you can't quite pick up just how miserable it is out there on your screens, but let me assure you, it is miserable. We're under cover here and still somehow managing to get wet, which is impressive.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Jonty Nichols at scrum half for Stamford, but it's a free kick to Haileybury and they move it quickly into the midfield. Osman carrying again. He will do that time and time again, the blindside flanker.
Scrum advantage.
Ball is knocked loose through the tackle again. And it's one of the quirks in the rain here on a field such as this, one of the 4G surfaces, where when you go to ground in a tackle situation, it's so easy to lose the ball because the ground doesn't give at all. Normally in wet situations, we used to, as you hit the deck with the ball, it kind of sinks into it a little bit. On this sort of surface, it can get away from you quite easily.
Step up, step up. Let's close the gap. Put a big gap last time. Close up. Crouch. Bind.
Another Stamford scrum. Just one in the backfield for Haileybury.
White hold.
Wise call too, because Stamford looked to run, but a big tackle comes in. McKenna there, fellow scrum half Nichols. That's going to be a battle to keep an eye on. Stamford put boot to ball. Haileybury line out just about on the halfway line. We've probably not seen as much kicking in the early exchanges as expected.
No, I mean, our philosophy is we do like to play running rugby, so hopefully weather doesn't inhibit that too much, but Stamford also playing some running rugby, so hopefully good game out here.
Certainly should be. Line out is fired over the top, but into the hands of Osman. Spilled again. But it'll be a penalty to Haileybury. Stamford had crept offside. And Newton with a chance to pump this one into the corner. He finds a good touch inside the 22. Be a turnover there, a penalty there rather. Stamford just creeping offside. Been a turbulent build-up to this game for Stamford. Physio room has been absolutely chock-a-block. They've managed to get most of their players available, which is no mean feat given where they were 24 hours ago. Tommy Bunce, talented fly half, just has a little dart. Stanford, as you say, George, they like to play, looking to play out of their own 22, but it's slowed down, so they'll get the box kick in now through Nichols. The Tigers scrum half. It's a bouncing ball, but bounces infield for Davis to collect, and he might just look to have a little run. He's going to have to go the long way round, but gets the ball into the hands of Rawlins, who now cuts back the other way, and there could actually be a little bit of space the other way. Not Rawlins, if it is Rawlins. What am I on about? Osman. Stamford competing hard on the floor, but Haileybury do enough to retain it. Dylan Line takes that in. Almost an interception for Stamford, but it's a knock-on and a Haileybury scrum. Well, you weren't lying, George. I'm going to look to play. What a field to play with here for Haileybury. Stamford have dropped 2 into the backfield. They're not too deep. Come up into the line pretty easily. Good scrum from Stamford, but Haileybury retain it. Rawlins runs the hard line, back on his feet, still on his feet as Rawlins gets the offload to McKenna away, and now there's some space for Newton to move into. Davis just has to juggle with that one, but hangs on to it. Big tackle comes in from Stamford. And just stopped a little bit, and then Stamford went for another intercept. But again, it just spills loose. And it'll be their ball, came forward off Haileybury first. But I guess a sign there that if you can get an offload away, despite the conditions, you can create space.
Yeah, we love to offload as well. Been working on it since the start of the season and pre-season, looking for support play and find those gaps.
Set. Hold wide.
Stamford get this one away more tidily, and Edgerton looked to kick it away, but charged down. Then knocked forward, and Haileybury will have the put in. And after that early Stamford score and some promising early Stamford play, just seeing the tide turn a little bit towards Haileybury now. Osman decides he better step up and does so with aplomb. Newton just stabs that one through with the boot. Not a bad idea. Comes back on the Haileybury side, but they were offside in chasing that kick through, so Stamford will have a chance to clear their lines. They set up to do that. Little chance just to tell you about what's coming up here live on Next Gen 15 over the course of the next few days. Tomorrow night we're down at Clifton RFC for the Ryan Bresnahan Memorial Game, all in support of A Life for a Cure, as Clifton College host Millfield. That one should be pretty spectacular as Stamford just get themselves up to about halfway. Friday night we're then off to Oxford University's Iffley Road for the Oxford Derby as St Edward's Oxford take on Alden College School. What should be another cracker. And then on Tuesday we've actually got Haileybury on screen again. Late call today getting that one through before tonight's game kicked off. They've got Bedford on Tuesday in the Continental Tires Schools Cup, so we'll be heading up to Hertfordshire for that one. Exciting few days coming up. Plenty more games to be confirmed as well. Hopefully news of a game on Saturday to bring you the next 24 hours or so. We've got a ball. Needed retrieving from the stands. Looks as though we've only got one match ball tonight, so we better hope it doesn't stray too far. I'm sure there's another one buried somewhere. Trick play at the line out from Stamford. They go short to the front. But Haileybury have ripped it away in contact. And indeed have a penalty as well.
Scrum 15.
Knocked on, in fact. It's a scrum. Confused by the angle of the referee's arm.
Cap, come on. We need to be square. Like we're saying, the angle, we need you square. Crouch! Bind! Set!
McKenna just has a little dart round the fringe. Eddie Elliott was just running off his shoulder. Osman now ships that one on to Dylan Line. Scored a try against Rugby School. Now he'd love another one here. It's big carry after big carry, but that one spilled loose and into the hands of Stamford, and Cohen, the try scorer. Oh, he looks up for this tonight, doesn't he? Big carry from Ted Cohen. Oh, great hand, Stamford. Curse to the commentator, though. That was lovely. Ambitious handling from Stamford on turnover ball.
Forward into touch option. Forward into touch. Scrum.
I think the call is going to be scrum down, Haileybury ball.
Time off.
Well, I told you we were going to see a lot of scrums tonight. I'd say everyone's holding up pretty well.
It's good to see the work's paid off throughout the week for the front row there.
Eddie Elliott at number 8 for Haileybury, the Saracens, plays open side for Saracens, but do you think he might be calling to take a couple off the base of the scrum and try and set up some front foot ball?
Yeah, definitely. He loves to run. He runs hard as well. He's got good wills, to be fair to him, so see what he can do.
These scrums on the left-hand side of the field, sort of natural arc for the number 8 to break into that midfield. He might fancy a go. Hats off, you may have seen there to Jackson trotting across in front of the screen, just getting the referee's microphone sorted out, I think. One of his favourite hobbies. Unfortunately, looks as though
Nice. Marks on the 5.
lost one of the Stamford players to a bit of a knock.
No. On the 5. Where he is. There.
So on comes one of the replacements. We'll confirm that one for you. Looks to me so it might be Ben Beach, who started in the second row
Crouch.
against Stowe a couple of weeks ago in Stamford's opener.
Set.
Ben Beach coming on.
Now we come up first. Come up first. Yeah, it should just come out first, then he's played it.
Conditions are not getting any better here at the home of Saracens. Rain's
Crouch.
absolutely teeming down.
Bind. Set.
Back
Hold
underway
now,
though.
wide.
McKenna
Wide hold.
gets it to the tail. It's a big scrum
Nice
from
day.
Stamford, but Haileybury hold on to it, but it's made life really
7.
difficult for McKenna. However, Stamford
7.
enticed by that, crept offside. Haileybury go quick, and Newton just has a little dart.
Penalty advantage, red.
We saw that a couple of times last week against Rugby School.
Yep.
And
hold on.
Newton keen to keep the pace going, takes the penalty quickly. McKenna moves it to the right-hand side. Haileybury buoyed on by the crowd, whose voices are really starting to pick up. That ball's lost forward by Stamford.
No, I just lost foot in the tackle.
We'll have another scrum.
Need left, can't be on the ball.
It's set piece after set piece at the moment, but the way things are going, their set piece creeping up the field from Haileybury's perspective after set piece that's creeping up the field a bit further. It's a big scrum from Stamford.
Crouch.
Last time they got McKenna under pressure.
Set.
Just got too excited, crept offside. If they can hold themselves, they could find some joy. It's another big scrum from them, and this time they do hold themselves onside. Haileybury do well though to move the ball around the defence into the hands of Crane, who does well this time to stay in field. Searching for runners, but the ball's just lost forward, but we're going to be coming back for a penalty. And McKenna goes quick again. Haileybury really are looking to keep the tempo high, but I don't think that penalty was taken from the mark. Now, Haileybury really seem to have decided that they want to increase the tempo here. 3 quick penalties in succession.
Yeah, Mr. Owen loves us to go quick, keep the tempo high, back our fitness throughout the game.
Mr. Owen, for those of you not in the know, as that ball's just lost forward again, so Stamford will have a chance to clear their lines.
Use it now,
Mr. Owen being, of course, Michael Owen, former Wales captain and British and Irish Lion back in 2005, a Grand Slam winner.
All backwards.
I believe he also captained the Lions against Argentina in the Llandovery Stadium.
Hold ringer now.
As Haileybury, well, I don't know if that was the intention. Oh, it's been called offside.
You stood here, you kicked behind the line. 14
It's a
offside.
clever little kick through by Davis.
14 offside.
Ben Parker, I think it was, on the far side that went herring after it, but the referee says he just crept ahead of the kick.
Yeah.
Edgerton nudges this one up just shy of the 22. Offside. The correct call from the referee there. We see it on the replay. In fairness to Parker, I think such an unusual move. I don't think he was expecting the kick to come through.
Great step up, great up, step up. There you go.
So an attacking line out for Stamford. Last time they had one of these, back in the 4th minute of the game, they scored a try. This one a little further out. What damage can they do? Well, it's been lost, and Osman will love having a little run at the defence here. He's met supremely well though. Edgerton, the skipper for Stamford, with a fantastic tackle. Osman does well actually to keep possession for his side, but then it's lost forward as they try to move it away from the ruck, and Stamford will have the scrum. Quick turnaround for Stamford this week. They're at home against Bedford Modern, who've started the season on an absolute flyer. That one this Saturday.
Set.
No game for Haileybury this Saturday. Their game against Reeds postponed. But on Tuesday, as I mentioned before, they take on Bedford School in the cup. That one live here on Next Gen 15.
No, no.
Stamford ball was loose and on the floor, but it's been tidied up. So difficult out there. Cohen takes it in. He's had a great start. Great opening 25 minutes, really, more than just a start. Good handling from Stamford again. They have shown good hands under pressure, despite the conditions, and still they look to get the offloads in. A big carry comes in from Ollie Holt. Haileybury defence, though, flooding through, but flooding through illegally. It's going to be a penalty to Stamford, and you'd think Edgerton is just going to look to pump this one into the corner again.
You good or not? You can have time off. Potential time off, are you alright?
Now tell me, George, I'm having a look out on the field and I'm seeing, well, I think I'm seeing, there you go, to have a look at the rain on the screen here, just pouring in front of those floodlights. That gives you a sense of just how miserable it is out there. But George, as I was saying, am I noticing a difference in the socks of some of the Haileybury players? I'm going to hazard a guess that maybe white socks mean colours, or am I barking up the wrong tree?
Nah, the socks are just how they've been rolled down, so we've got patterned socks, but depending on how you roll them down, you end up with the white, you end up with the dark. Some players like to wear the white socks underneath, like you see the pros do.
Maybe I'm just associating players with their socks pulled up as players that I think might get colours as Davis gets across the halfway line. I've always said socks up is the way to go. Rawlins with his socks down. Moving forward now, Crane stabs it through. Crane chasing after this one. This will be sensational. Gets it down. Zach Crane. A try last week, a try this week. What a moment for the young man. Glorious bit of individual skill. Well, talk us through this, George.
Well, he loves to put the little nudges through in training as a joke, and finally one's paid off in the game. We don't see that happen in training very often, so top work from Zach and good wills from him as well.
It was great handling early on, wasn't it, to get Rawlins on that outside arc, and then he just thought, well, feed the speed on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, Fraser's got wheels as well, but Zach can always keep him up as well.
See it there, got on the outside. Just that check of a step, just to halt the oncoming defender. Don White, the open side, coming across. Just checked his stride a little bit because of that step inside from Rawlins. And then no one was catching Crane once he put boot to ball there. And having trailed since the 3rd minute of the game, Haileybury, the chance here to fly half Finn Newton to level the scores. Sign of just how treacherous it is, rather. Half a thought of getting someone to hold the ball up for him. The rain, not the wind, that's the big problem tonight. Oh, that is a beautiful strike from Newton. A glorious kick from Newton. His conversion, Zach Crane's try. And we are all square here with 7 minutes left to play in the first half here at the StoneX Stadium. Ball absolutely clatters off Haileybury, lost in the floodlights possibly as it came down. It's clattered off the turning player, bounces off into touch, and Stamford are going to have an early chance here to strike right back.
Eyes up. It's a lot of movement at the last scrum, both sides. Maintain the stability before we put our balls in. Okay?
Scrum 5 metres out. Not sure I've ever seen anything quite like that. Definitely lost sight of the ball.
If you step up, you can close your gap.
Now you really can see the rain
Crouch!
hammering across your screens.
Set!
So just able to see the wind direction there as well. It is going from left to right a little bit.
Stay! Hold wide!
As Stamford
9.
nudge their way forwards. Now they break away and look to move it wide. Step back inside from Jack Haynes.
Scrum.
Will come back.
Let's lost hold and tackle. As your arm come round.
The scrum is a brilliant long pass from Ollie Bunce
Lost hold.
to the hands of Jack Haynes.
Crouch. Bind.
Set himself up really wide again with
Set.
his brother. His near side.
9, stay there. Hold right.
Delaney. Looks up. Peck runs the hard line. Bouncing ball. It's tidied up. Stamford back in shape. So too the Haileybury defence though, but that's a big carry. And then it's spilled loose and Osman is back on it, and Osman on the run and offloading on his own 5-metre line. Well, they do play with ambition. And still they go on, Haileybury. Stamford were up fast there.
Always under pressure, there's no advantage.
We come back for the knock-on. Oh, it is so tough out there. Each and every one of these players, they are working so hard. Bit of a knock to one of the Haileybury players. There's just a chance for everyone to regroup and catch their breath. Again at that. Oh, it was a huge contact. Big carry from Ben Beard, one of those Leicester Tigers players. Saracens lineup, and well, it's almost a case of who else. But Lucas Osman snaffles the loose ball. You know, having watched a game and a half near enough of Haileybury playing, I have to say he's a player that's really stood out for me. Lucas Osman on that blindside flank just seems to be so willing to do the work that no one else wants to.
Yeah, he'll do anything. He'll run hard, carry hard, got good hands as well, and he's quite quick, to be fair to him as well. So he does make fair food ground for us, and he loves to do the dirty work that the other players don't want to do.
We don't want to be too fair to people though here. Bit of fairness is fine. He is quick. He's been very, very impressive as Lucas Osman. Third start of the season for him. Just about ready to get back underway. Be a Haileybury scrum, but it's not going to be on the part of the field that they particularly want one on. 6 metres out from their own try line, dead in front of the posts. Not an easy exit by any means. 7 points apiece. Just about 4 minutes left to go in the half.
Bind. Set.
And to feed the scrum.
Hold right.
Scrum goes down. Big blast of the whistle from the referee. It's be going again.
I tried to.
What you might be thinking at home, how does a scrum go down on an artificial surface? Well, I can tell you, very, very slippy.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold now, White. Hold.
Scrum. But Elliott takes the responsibility on himself and carries off the base and earns his side the penalty. Such was the carry that Stamford simply couldn't roll away.
All 12 White, West roll.
Brilliant from Eddie Elliott. Finn Newton, well, in fact, it's half time, so Finn Newton just taps and knocks that ball off, and we're going to head into the half-time break with the two sides deadlocked at 7 points apiece in a wet and wild StoneX Stadium. And so we have a look back at those 2 tries from the first half. The first one from Ted Cohen, 3 minutes in for Stamford, and well, even as a Haileybury man, you've got to appreciate the beauty of that ball. That was perfectly set up.
Yeah, they look well structured there. Top work from them, to be fair. Powerful as well.
Very, very powerful from Haileybury. Sorry, from Stamford, I mean. It's Haileybury next up to score. Half an hour they trailed, but fast and sharp handling around the defence, and then Rawlins breaking around the outside. And that man, Zach Crane, to stab it through and score for his side. And it's a well-worked score, that.
It was. Good pass from Charlie Walters here, actually, to Fraser there.
One of those brave ones where you know you're going to get hit, but you know that in doing that, the ball is going to get away, put players in space. The Finn Russell special, really. Zach Crane it was, scoring the try, levelling up the Ted Cohen score from early on, and it sends us in. Sides absolutely deadlocked, 7 points apiece. Just wonder, is the rain abating? Judging by the looks of those around me, possibly not. We can but hope. Half time, a chance for us to tell you about our partners, Limitless Kit, as well. Limitless have been supporting us for over a year now, keeping us warm, dry, and in the summertime, keeping us cool. We've got shorts and t-shirts from them as well. Unfortunately, it would appear that this week the time for those shorts and t-shirts has passed, and we're into the waterproofs. But what a fine job of keeping us dry they're doing. Do check out Limitless Kit to see what they've got to offer. And over the course of the next few days, as I mentioned in that first half, plenty coming up here live on Next Gen 15. Tomorrow night, Clifton RFC is the venue. The Ryan Bresnahan Memorial Game, in support of A Life for a Cure, Gitis B. Clifton College against Millfield. It doesn't get much better than that. Friday night, we'll give it a run for its money though. Off to Iffley Road, the home of Oxford University, but it's for a school game. And it's St Edward's Oxford against Magdalen College School. Big Oxford derby, that one. It's actually the first game of the season for Magdalen College School. They are going to be bang up for that. And then, as mentioned, Tuesday, it's cup time. And what a cup game it is. First round of the cup. Haileybury against Bedford in Hertfordshire. That one should be a cracker. And George, that's a hell of a draw in the first round. Bedford School.
Yeah, we had them last year in the first round as well, unfortunately lost actually, but they're a good outfit, so it'd be a great game to be down and see as well again. So
it certainly will be. That one Haileybury's next game, so they've got plenty of time to prepare for it. Bit of a midweek side at the moment. You're going Wednesday, Tuesday. Champions League stuff.
Yeah, it's the way to go. Wednesday under the lights. Doesn't get much better than that, to be fair, with some of the school coming out to spectate.
Certainly doesn't. Crowd looking a little thin at the moment, but that's because they've all headed inside to the warm, dry bar area here, StoneX Stadium. We're in that newly developed stand, far side from us. Had about 30 seconds in there myself before the game, just to try and dry off. Had to leave quite sharpish though, because it smelled so good. There's something good cooking in there. You don't want to be doing commentary hungry. Players are out on the field. We're just waiting for a ball. Edgerton calling for it. Just about ready to start the second half. Stamford will be kicking off, playing in their white shirts from right to left. Haileybury, the host this evening. And StoneX playing in their purple kits with the white hoops. Receiving kickoff, playing from left to right. I think we're just on Not quite sure what we're still waiting for. Stamford might have had too many players on the field to begin with. Oh no, we're looking for the actual match ball, which is rather embarrassingly trundling along in front of my face. I say in front of my face, you know, it's at the bottom of the stand and I'm at the top of it, so I can't help out that much, but that's the reason for the delay. Well, I was right, we only have got the one match ball tonight, which is hopefully not going to come and bite us as the game goes on. Anyway, after all that, we're ready to go. James Edgerton, the Stamford skipper, to kick things off. It's a really good kickoff as well, and it's a fantastic contest in the air. Luke Kevitt, I think it was, going up for Stamford, and ball is back in their hands. They've got a penalty. Perfect start for Stamford. Very similar to the first half, where they got an early penalty and punched it into the corner, and they're going to punch this one into the corner as well. Edgerton gets it right into that corner. What a kickoff this was.
You're at the end of that line.
Kenner going for it. Kevitt from Stamford, and it was McKevitt that won out. Ben Beach collecting the loose ball. Replacement in that first half. Stamford line out. Poached by Haileybury. Had to dot it down behind their own line. Because it had come off a stolen line out by them, that meant carried over. So it would be a Stamford 5-metre scrum. Really unfortunate that for Haileybury, who did so well at the front of the line out to get this back.
Same as first half, when the call comes, hold.
But as you said, George, at the start of the game,
Crouch.
when it's wet here, the ball really does skip off it. It makes it so hard to tidy up a loose one like that.
Set. White hold.
Stamford scrum, it's picked up by Ollie Hull, who's shifted to number 8, and he's shifted very nicely. He's across the line, but he's been held up. Haileybury get under it. Looks as though it might have been Finn Newton that got under it. Fly half getting underneath the second row, and he's gone quick
Backwards.
with the goal line dropout. Davis has managed to collect it. Well, that was high risk from Haileybury, but just about paid rewards. And it's been spilled forward though, and Stamford will have the put in. See it again here. Hull charging across the try line, and it was indeed. Newton gets under the ball. Oh, that is really good defence from the fly half.
Crouch. Bind.
Well, Haileybury showing no lack of ambition from the goal line dropout. Stamford, and Hull again picks up, but this time he gives it to Nichols, the scrum half.
On the pick-up.
It's been lost forward, and Haileybury have the scrum now.
Lost forward. Up.
And we saw a lot of this in the first half. Scrum to scrum. You've got to hope for conditions are like this. You're operating from set piece to set pieces, that you can just do so from the right part of the field. At the moment it's Stamford that are in the right part of the field, and Haileybury that have got to do the work to get out from it.
We've been really good in the first half. We're now both pre-engaging. We maintain that space before set.
Haynes brothers in the backfield for Stamford.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold right.
Leads the scrum. It's another decent scrum from Stamford, and it puts McKenna under pressure at the base as well, just to hold on to it. And now they exit down this left-hand side, and there's a bit of space. It's a huge kick, rolling and rolling into the 22. Freddie Haynes catches up with it. Jack Haynes now trying to find a way out of this on-rushing Haileybury defence. He's snagged up though. Keeps the ball on his team's side.
Use it, 9.
And Nichols
Don't
will
hold
look to
control.
box. Good box kick it is as well. Finds a bit of open field, but Davis collects and will have a run. Now Rawlins, oh, it's a good step from Rawlins. Rawlins, oh, lovely balanced running from the Saracen centre. Haileybury now have that field position into the 22.
Step, step.
Through the forwards they go. Elliott there. Not Elliott, in fact. One of his big mates up front. Newton just stabs that one through.
No.
Tidied up just about by Haynes. And Haileybury will have the line out. Haynes did well in the end to just keep the ball
Touch too many people on the sideline.
on the right side of going forward, but Haileybury flooding through in defence, putting Stamford under so much pressure. And now they'll have a line out deep in the 22. Dylan Line to throw in. Goes short. It's a nice idea, it's just lost forward through contact, so Stamford will have the scrum. Not a bad option, conditions as they are, but
Lost forward, scrum 15.
just didn't quite come off.
Crouch, bind, set.
And goes down again. So a couple of those tonight.
Keep your hips in. Make sure you bind up.
Wind has started to really pick up here. StoneX as well.
Crouch, bind, set.
Penalty Haileybury.
16 down.
McKenna goes quick. No thoughts of kicking for sticks here. Haileybury want to play, and Rawlins in particular wants to play. Gets it out to Parker, and now Davis bouncing around, wrapped up by Haynes. Osman.
Pick and go. Don't come in, don't come in.
Big counter ruck from Stamford, but Haileybury tidy it up.
No wide, no wide.
Haileybury punching around the fringes at the moment. Inching closer and closer.
Just step two, just step two.
Once again they go. Osman. Now McKenna looks wide. Newton to Rawlins. Rawlins gets on the outside again and now feeds Davis, who feeds it out wide to the try scorer, Zach Crane, and Zach Crane is over for his second of the game. They punched and they punched and they punched in the close quarters, and then they fizzed it wide. Haileybury take the lead. And George, tell us about this one.
Great play there from Haileybury, keeping it tight, getting them all compact in there, and then spreading it wide for Zach to finish it in the corner. Top hands from the backs there to get it out there, nice and effective. And good work from Fraser again there.
We just try and keep the subs at the halfway.
Well, indeed, Fraser Rawlins just seems to be so effective in being able to just get himself on the outside shoulder of the defender to create that extra bit of space for those outside him.
That's one of his strengths, especially with his pace. He can really work on the outside of the opposition defence and get us on the outside there.
Zach Crane, 2 tries here at the StoneX. Came from behind last week. It's Rugby School. 7-0 down here with a 12-7 lead. Conversion would make it 14. It's a tricky one though. Just drifts to the left-hand side. Never easy when you need someone to hold the tip of the ball for you. Zach Crane there with his second score of the game. He's put his side in front. Really does feel like one of those evenings where every single point is worth double. Great kickoff from Edgerton, but it's claimed superbly by Rawlins. Got up so high. That ball's just spilled forward though. So Stamford will have the scrum. Good position on the field to try and launch something from. Talk to me defensively about scrums like this, and where, you know, particularly as a fullback, how you're looking to line up. Obviously you want to match up numbers wise as much as possible, but you're so aware that the ball can go either way. It must be a nightmare scenario.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I mean, definitely rely on the back row there to help us out a little bit, trying to break out from the scrum quickly and pick up maybe the first receiver, or maybe the 9 to put pressure on the opposition 9. And if they put the kick in behind and score here, fair play. So Nick's in the line here.
His hips need to stay in as well.
The nature of any defence. Rugby is you've got to leave an option somewhere a lot of the time.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just always try and make it the hardest possible option to leave.
You're a little bit long there as well.
Stamford playing into a slight wind. I say slight. At times it's been a very strong wind.
Set.
If they get through that sentence, it picks right up. There's a wind blowing into Stamford's faces. Sometimes it's strong. Loose, scrappy ball, but that could play into the favour of Haynes, but it won't, as the referee calls them back. Just for a moment, that loose ball around him, his eyes lit up. And Haynes.
Yes, let's come.
Scrum Haileybury, and there's a very tasty blindside here.
Crouch.
Eddie Elliott
Bind.
fancies a little rumble.
Set.
And
Hold right.
spotted that as well and just trotted across, but McKenna and Newton decide that the sensible thing to do is to send this long, and sensible pays off as it rolls out into touch. Not too far from the Stamford 22. A good exit that from Haileybury.
Yeah.
A clever bit of work actually from Parker, just to go and hug that touchline and create just a bit of doubt in the Stamford minds as to whether Haileybury were going to kick or run.
Where he is, yeah, where you are, stay there.
Stamford lineup. Plenty of time for them to respond.
Back.
Haileybury try, and while the lineout's not worked as they wanted, they have got some good go forward here. Haileybury defence is up really fast. Still in line it was. Shooting out of the line.
No.
Edgerton steps in at first receiver on that occasion. Now Haynes finding some ground to eat up, and still Haynes goes on.
No, Jacqueline. Leave it, 7.
Nichols ships it to Dom White. Good hands from Dom White. Edgerton has stepped in definitely at fly half, and now bursting through goes Stamford.
No, 16. No. Penalty advantage, 9 on the side.
Playing with penalty advantage. Haileybury coming in at the side. It was Clayton Bailey, Finn Clayton Bailey, that made that big burst through the midfield. There's Stamford now, just 5 metres out. Work to the right-hand side, skip pass comes in, it's well covered by Haileybury, but still, Stamford go on. Oh, that's great work, great strength. Freddie Haynes, I think, on the far side. Superb bit of finishing from Stamford. Back to all square. Edgerton stepped in at 10. He fed Finn Clayton Bailey. And then from there, they found the space. In fact, Edgerton found Ed Delaney, who then shipped it on to Clayton Bailey. And after that, much like Stamford, like Haileybury before them, Stamford worked it close and then moved the ball wide. It's good hands from Lachlan Peck and a wonderful finish from Freddie Haynes. And Stamford level the game up. Conversion doesn't quite make it. As I said, these are really tough conditions to kick from in those wide channels. And we are all square, 12 points apiece. And another good try, that, George. 2 good tries in this first half, in this second half.
Yeah, great finish that from the winger out there, and also great build-up play. Good lines cut through there, keeping it tight again, and then finding the space out wide.
No, goal line, goal line. It's always inside. It's goal line drop out. Always inside. Goal line drop out.
Ooh. Ran dead. So it's a goal line dropout. It's a brave goal line dropout as well. Edgerton just hangs it high. Worked out in the end. Ends up in the hands of Don White, the open side. Stamford get the penalty. Half a thought of going quickly, but not a lot of space to work with. Just hit the brakes. Edgerton will use that boot of his to send it long. Stays in field though, so Nick Davis will try and find some space. Pass is a little loose, but it's tied up by Parker just about. He's going to have to go the long way around, but he's happy to do that.
Can't jump in tackle.
It's a penalty to Stamford, I think, for Parker jumping into the tackle. Edgerton, 2 quick penalties in succession. He could have his team right in the corner and pushing for a 3rd score here. That's exactly what he's got.
Red, red. Where you are, where you are.
Get a short delay while we get the ball back. Trying to find any dry area possible to get that ball dried up. Cohen, got a try to his name already, will throw this one in. Successfully to the back of the maul, and Cohen will have his mitts on it. As I say, one already from this position. And Stamford are edging forward. Haileybury do well to break it up though. Cohen's on the floor now.
No, it's pick and go. For 2 step.
Good maul defence from Haileybury, but the danger far from over. Nichols just signalling something to those outside him, but that signal will not be needed because Luke McKevitt crosses the whitewash. Haileybury's lead didn't last long. Stamford come roaring back. 2 quick tries in succession. Luke McKevitt with the try. The maul was well defended by Haileybury, but Stamford kept their patience. rumbled forward, inch by inch. And McKevitt gets his score. Conversion from Edgerton is good as well. So Stamford take the lead, 19 points to 12. And after a first half that only scored, excuse me, a first half that only saw scores.
Yeah.
It's a tongue twister I didn't know existed. A first half that only saw scores at the start and end of the half.
19-12.
But a second half, seen 3 already. And aren't you all glad that sentence is over and done with? Nick Davis there trying to search for the ball in the backfield. George, if I've got one tip for Haileybury ahead of next week, it's bring more than one match ball.
Yeah, I don't really know why we've only got one, to be honest. We have got more balls, but only one match ball seems to be, so.
Maybe it's just a good way of making sure everyone's well rested. Anytime the ball goes off field, you get a 2-minute break.
Yeah, it might be a Mr. Owen tactic there, but
bringing a bit of Razzie Erasmus to the field today. It's really well held on to by Nichols there.
Use it.
Such a difficult one to take that. Incredibly well to hold on to.
Let go.
He's back on his feet. He's going to look to exit.
Use now, 9.
For Stamford. Gets that one safely off the field. A decent clearance, that one from Nichols.
There's you. That's right. 13. 13 and a half, so on that line.
What's the tactic here from a Haileybury point of view? They just got themselves in front. Now that lead has turned around. What's the route back, do you think?
I think keep a calm head. I know the boys will still believe that this is doable, no matter how long's left on the clock, and just keep it simple, to be honest.
Certainly plenty time left, 14 minutes of it, in fact. Stamford, a huge tackle, brought plenty of travelling support as well here in North London. Short trip down the A1 for them, really. Trying to find some space. Osman ever willing in the carry. Still he goes on. Ball is lost forward though. Stamford will have possession back on the front foot. Nichols to Edgerton. Edgerton just stabs it through. There could be a bit of space. All depends on the bounce. It's tidied up really nicely by Parker, but then it's loose ball again. So hard to keep a hold of. Haynes going close. Haynes, is he across the line? Yes, he is. Jack Haynes, well, how on earth, as he gets some cramp for his troubles, how on earth did he manage to stay alive through that contact? That's a nasty bit of cramp it looks like he's got as well. Brilliant strength, brilliant awareness to know where he was on the field as well. Could so easily have been driven into touch. The loose ball was picked up. Lachlan Peck releasing Haynes, and look how much he still had to do on one leg almost. Stretching out and across the line. I've no idea how he managed to get there. The tackles came raining in on him, but Jack Haynes gets the score.
Yeah, great strength and power there. Good finish as well there.
Just a stunning bit of finishing, wasn't it? Just to stay alive through the contact.
Just hold.
Edgerton lining up the conversion. You can just see as that ball rolls off the tee in the wind. You see Edgerton making his way
for that player.
across. He's just about stretched
Yeah,
off
we're
that
holding for
cramp,
that player
I think.
there.
I think I see a few replacements for Haileybury. I think Hamish Archibald's on in the centres here. I think I may have seen Henry Herbert come on as well.
And Haileybury taking advantage of another injury, it looks like, just behind the posts. Make a couple of changes. Haynes is still trotting around as well, trying to, I think he's trying to get some electrolytes in, if I'm honest. Hamish Archibald, by the way, who I owe an apology to in our team sheet published earlier today, misspelled his name. It's Archibald with an O, not an A. Edgerton, a bit of fun with the ball in the side of our screens. Everyone's back on their feet and up and running. So, it's the Tigers outside half. Stamford captain. Chance to convert that Jack Haynes try. Haynes, by the way, I think has gone off, at least for the time being. His conversion doesn't quite go, but his team have a good advantage now. 24-12 they lead. There is Jack Haynes. What a finish that was. 9 minutes left to go. Stamford with the lead. Haileybury need 2 converted tries. Big carry from Stamford, but over the ball to Haileybury, and with the penalty they have as well. Sharp work at the breakdown. They go quickly through McKenna. I think the referee's going to give the benefit of the doubt there, and so there was a bit of obstruction. Newton goes quickly anyway, stabs it over the top. Is there some space? It's covered nicely by Freddie Haynes, and Edgerton can make the exit. Stays in field though, so Haileybury with a chance to run it back, and run it back they do. Oh, Fraser Rawlins, all on his own. Fraser Rawlins, what a score! Well, they needed 2 quick scores, they've got one. Fraser Rawlins with the kick return. Stunning stuff, George.
Unbelievable from Fraser there. He's quite used to being in the backfield. I think he's played fullback for Saracens a few times, so he's used to the open field, and just serious wheels there.
Serious wheels and snake-like hips, weaving in and out. And then, as you say, when he needed the pace, my word, did he have it. He's been the creator for much. Now he's the finisher, created all by himself as well. Quick conversion from Newton.
Was that taping?
And Fraser Rawlins
time off.
keeps this game alive.
24-19. Yeah, time's off. Yeah, I know.
Jack Haynes, by the way,
in
the midst of all that, is back on the field. At fullback for Stamford, got an injury just in the dead ball area at the moment. There is Fraser Rawlins, the try scorer. That's a moment he's going to remember no matter what ends up happening here at the StoneX. Absolutely sensational score. So good it's worth watching again. The step off the left, the snake-like hips. Do you know who he reminds me of? You remember Ben Smith, the All Blacks fullback? Kind of, not to be unkind, he looks like an accountant, you know? Looks like an accountant, plays like Dan Carter.
Not a bad combination, that.
Bad at all. There's a career in either field for him. When all said and done, wonderful stuff from Fraser Rawlins.
7.5. Yeah. 7.5.
Plays a bit like Ben Smith as well.
Eight. Happy now?
Running repairs just about taken care of. Stamford's player in the backfield is having to hobble off, unfortunately. We're back underway here at the StoneX, and we have a proper game on our hands. Tackle coming in as well from Freddie Beals. Stamford left wing.
Tackle there.
Five points the difference. Davis
No.
moving it wide to Zach Crane, who's hat-trick hunting here at the StoneX. He's just driven out into touch.
Yeah, we're 2 and 2, we're not going quick.
Stamford line out. We've got 7 minutes left and a 5-point game here.
Right.
Really good tackle that from Freddie Haynes, just to force Crane into touch, and Dom White, like any good open side, just coming in to finish the job. Good line out from Stamford. They set up the maul. You know what a threat that maul is.
Penalty advantage.
They've got a penalty coming from it. So they're going to look to play a little bit, knowing they've got free ball here. Nichols to his forward pack, but it's just spilled forward, so we'll come back for the penalty. I rather think Edgerton might just try and stick this one into the corner and run that same line-out drill again. Well, I told you, it's always tense when Haileybury come to the StoneX. And we've got another nail-biter on our hands here. Penalty comes in here. Haileybury attempting to pull them all down in the middle there. Gives Stamford line out just outside the 22. You can just see there behind the Haileybury players, that's the 22. But it's been stolen by Haileybury. Big moment for the Hertfordshire side. And they're going to look to play.
Got advantage in the tackle.
Ball is just a little loose, so Davis tidies up. It's taken to ground. Ball is safe for his team. We're still looking to play. Newton to Rawlins. Have a go yourself, mate, why not?
No.
Osman, that ball's just spilled.
Always under pressure, red scrum.
Tried to get the offload away.
Always under pressure, so red scrum the advantage.
It's a combination that's been so successful in these opening weeks of the season. Osman and Elliott.
Always under pressure. Lost ball in the tackle.
Greasy ball just getting the better of them this time. Lucky that one.
There's no advantage over.
That it's stuck. Elliott had so much space to run into.
Sorry?
Just look there, there's a hole. Was a hole there for Elliott to run through. It's just so difficult to take.
Crouch.
They were playing with advantage. That early knock on.
Set.
A chance to play out, and a great chance to play out. They've got the penalty. Newton's going to be able to send this one. Well, I say Newton's going to be able to send this one. He might be able to if he gets a hold of it, but Haileybury are determined to go quick, and Stamford are determined not to let them. They win the penalty. Got another delay for injury.
Well, time's off.
Shade over 3 minutes left to go. So a chance just to remind you of what's coming up over the course of the next few days. Here live on NextGen15. Everything available on NextGen15 YouTube channel, youtube.com/NextGen15, NextGenXV that is. Tomorrow night, the Ryan Bresnahan Memorial Game, A Life for a Cure is who we're supporting for meningitis B. Clifton College against Millfield. An absolutely massive game. I've been going through the team sheets for that. It is littered with under-18 Academy League stars and a couple of international players as well. One player, in fact, Clifton College lineup who was playing Premiership Cup rugby for Bristol Bears just a couple of weeks ago. It is going to be fearsome tomorrow night, and then on Friday it's off to Iffley Road, home of Oxford University, for a big Oxford Schools derby. St Edward's Oxford against Magdalen College School. That one's going to be a cracker. Iffley Road, I think, might be where Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile as well. fact, I'm having that confirmed to me. It is where the 4-minute mile was broken. So there we go. We're going to a place with plenty of history on Friday night. And then on Tuesday afternoon, it's more Haileybury. So they take on Bedford School. The Continental Tires Schools Cup. Plenty live action coming up. youtube.com/NextGen50. youtube.com/NextGenXV. Not that you need telling, because that, I assume, is exactly where you are watching this game right now, and what a cracker of a game it is. 3 minutes left to go, 5 points the difference. Haileybury the hosts here at the StoneX Stadium. Their purple shirts looking to come back for a dramatic victory, but it's Stamford in white, and their skipper James Edgerton nudges that penalty into the corner. So they look for a try that would surely seal the game.
We'll just hold till he's off the pitch, though. We'll hold until he's off. We'll hold till he's off. Back. 13.
Just another brief delay while we retrieve the ball, but it has been retrieved. Cohen has it in his hands. He would love a second try tonight. He started all the scoring off in the 3rd minute of the game. Could he be the man to finish it off with 3 minutes left to go? Line out doesn't quite go to hand, but it was knocked forward in their attempts to grasp it by Haileybury. Forward by Haileybury, but first it had been knocked on by Stamford, so Haileybury have a scrum, and not much time on the clock, George. Given the way Haileybury have played, are they going to run this one?
I believe they will run this one. I mean, they'll back themselves, give it to one of the quick men, see what they can do on the outside, and hopefully 100-metre try here to win the game. Wouldn't be a bad way to win it.
It certainly would not. In the way showed ambition throughout this game. Be a very, very fitting way to do it if they were. But the ball pops loose out of the back of the scrum, claimed by McKevitt, who is just inches short. Stamford with an opportunity here to finish this game off. Nichols at the base. They go close, Stamford. It's good defence from Haileybury. Cohen now has it. Round the corner he goes. Cohen almost over. He's knocked backwards. Round the fringe again, but the defence is great from Haileybury, but they're a bit short on the right-hand side now, but they get the numbers there. And the corner again and across the line. Held up is the call from the referee. Did Lucas Osman get his hand underneath it? He must have done. But it's a penalty. Haileybury had crept offside. Edgerton is going to go to the corner again. Well, I don't know how Osman got underneath that, but somehow he did.
What?
See it here. Round the fringe they go. Osman got himself under it. The Stamford line out. This time it's claimed. That's a really, really good take. I think it was McKevitt again. What a couple of minutes he's had. And now all the backs come flooding in. 13 players in this maul for Stamford. It's over the try line. Can they get the ball down?
Held up.
No. Held up, says the referee.
Ball's over. No, that's over. That's full time.
Or is it? Some confusion.
I believe that's full time.
Well, full time, as you say, George. A damp end to the game. A damp game throughout. But a wonderful game of rugby. Stamford claimed the victory, 24 points to 19. It was a brave fight back from Haileybury. But in the end, the boys in white, Stamford, hold out for victory here at the StoneX. A wonderful, wonderful game of rugby. Not the result your boys wanted, George, but a fantastic game.
Fantastic game of rugby. Stamford played really well. Fair play to them. Congratulations. And Hailbury played well as well, but just didn't have quite what it took today.
Well, it's always tight and tense here at the StoneX. I don't know what it is about this place and games involving Hailbury, but it always makes for a special occasion, and that one that'll live long in the memory for both sides. Yeah, and Stamford will be the ones off the pitch with a big grin on their face. They had to dig deep for that. They had to dig really, really deep for that. Freddie Haynes' try, in the end, just enough to give them the victory here at the StoneX. But I tell you what, Fraser Rawlins has a moment that's going to live with him for a very long time. That was spectacular.
Yeah, I'll remember that for a long time to come.
He certainly will. These two sides will remember this evening for a long time to come as well, as they applaud each other off the field. Edgerton leading his victorious Stamford side from the field and through the tunnel. He was a calming presence throughout for Stamford. His early penalty into the corner, setting up the Cohen try. They've got this game underway, and it's Edgerton that's handing out the pats on the back for Hailbury as well, who gave it absolutely everything. Big games coming up for these two now as well. Stamford, they're up again on Saturday, taking on a Bedford Modern side that are pumped full of confidence, but Stamford, with 2 wins from 2 now, are going to be full of confidence themselves after a really, really professional job here at StoneX. And Hailbury, well, they're back on our screens in 6 days' time. They take on Bedford Tuesday in the Schools Cup. That one to look forward to, I suspect. There'll be a bit of heartbreak after tonight, George, but in reflection, some really good moments. And they know they've come up against a really good Stamford side here. They'll be excited for that game on Tuesday.
Yeah, definitely some positives coming from this game, but after this, just recharge, regroup, and go again on Tuesday.
Go again on Tuesday is the message for Hailbury. Go again on Saturday is the message for Stamford, and go again with so much excitement. They're 2 from 2. Stowe and Hailbury ticked off for Stamford as we look through some of the tries that second half. Zach Crane with a double. Some really tidy finishing from Zach Crane this evening. But tidy finishing in response from Stamford. Freddie Haynes on the far side. A really, really sharp finish. And it was a good night for the Haynes, because his brother Jack scored an absolute worldie a few moments later. Kevitt scoring as well. But check out this from Jack Haynes. No right to score. 2 defenders on him and a third coming in. But somehow, some way, Haynes found a way to fight through contact and score the try. But we just thought for a moment that the comeback was on when this was pulled out of the bag by Fraser Rawlins. And I'm just going to check, with a first name like Fraser, is he Scottish qualified by any chance?
Not to my knowledge, I'm not too sure.
Just doing my bit of scouting. Name like Angus, you may know that I'm a bit of a Scot myself. Teams head in though, and that's full time here at the StoneX. George Moody, thank you so much for joining us. Not the result your boys wanted, but a fantastic performance and a fantastic occasion. Nonetheless, we hope to have you back on the mic later on in the season. Perhaps get you some, well, if you're not on the field at Rossend Park 7, at least we'll get you on the mic.
Lovely. Thank you very much for having me. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Absolute pleasure to have you all over here at the StoneX. Stamford make it 2 from 2. They beat Haileybury 24 points to 19. Thank you very much for watching with us this evening, and do join us again tomorrow night for Clifton College against Millfield. 7:30 p.m. kickoff, that one. Till then, good night.